played an excellent game, especially in the first half. They really took it to us. I'm very disappointed in our team. We are not the most talented Arizona team. We're certainly not the biggest Arizona team. But what we can control is collective effort. And for 20 minutes, we picked and chose how hard we were going to play. The game was too physical for us. If you look at the rebounding numbers through about 24 minutes, we were overwhelmed. It was men against boys. We, again, had 10 turnovers in the first half. And at the end of the game, you go 12 for 20 from the foul line. We had a number of things, concentration-wise, that you try to cover in a one-day turnaround. We were 50% at best in being a team that concentrates, whether it be an underneath out-of-bounds play, something we try to take over that they do well. And we're down 34-22 at the half. If you want to give our team any credit, we certainly fought back and had a chance to win. But the hole that we dug was a lot about our effort and our concentration and readiness, and we didn't have it. I give a couple guys on our team a lot of credit, Solomon Hill in particular. I thought it was his play early in the second half that changed the tide for us. And when you look at the rebounding, 31-30, you have to realize we were like a completely different basketball team rebounding in the second half. There's only one difference. We went after the ball a lot harder. We were desperate. The first 20 minutes, we didn't even attempt to rebound. It was too hard. So we got what we deserved, a team that came in ready. Our team wasn't. And, you know, you're playing in the 50s. We're not a gifted team by any stretch of the imagination on offense. We have to play really, really hard. And we didn't play hard enough to beat a hungry, good, today Oregon team.
Talking about the intensity or concentration, is there any maybe carryover from Thursday that made that worse?
No, I mean, I think any time that you play 3 games in a week, it puts pressure on your team. But every team in our conference is going to have to deal with that. And, you know, we played an afternoon game here today in front of a great crowd on national television. And we didn't have it. I would say the last probably 16 minutes of the second half, we played with great confidence and courage, and played with incredible effort, and guys made big plays. And we didn't change a whole lot, you know, at halftime. But the first 20 minutes was so much a reflection of us being in the opposite column.
Did you see you come in at all in practice yesterday or shoot around or anything?
No, and you can't really do a lot when you play a late Thursday game and you play an early Saturday game. You know, we're all at the mercy of a quick turnaround, and that quick turnaround, we weren't ready to go.
How much is your patience being tested when you see a lack of effort?
A great deal. And, you know, I spent about an hour and a half this afternoon motivating, begging, pleading, yelling, screaming, subbing, and it's a shame that didn't come from within.
Was at the end, was it a 3 by design, or is that just what Oregon gave you?
You know, I was trying to put our best shooters out there. You know, I don't know if I could have felt good leaving McHale to have Brendan Lavender sitting on the bench knowing the percentage he shot all season and what he just did on Thursday night. I feel good about the fact that he had a pretty good look from 3 to win the game. And we had a nice pull-up, probably a 12-foot pull-up from Kyle that he's made a lot. So the last 2 shots, everyone will focus on that. We got 2 shots to tie and win the game. 1 to tie, 1 to win. And that aside, we also played 22 minutes with not the energy that we need to be the best team we can be. That's more of the story.
Sean, what are the 2 or 3 essentials that you need every game to be competitive?
But we have to rebound, and at the end of the day, we were even. But one of the reasons we were down 34-22, and I don't have the first half here in front of me.
16-11.
I mean, 16-11, they had 6 second shots, we had 3. And, I mean, you look at that first half stat sheet and you say, you're 2 for 6 from the foul line. You're being out-rebounded 16-11, and you have 10 turnovers. You know, in the second half, we had 5 turnovers. You look at our rebounds, we out-rebounded them significantly in the second half. And yet, the one thing that we didn't do, that we could have, is go to the line and make free throws. I think we missed the front end of a 1-on-1 as well. So 12 for 20, this year's team, it's going to be hard for us to win.
Do you feel there are things differently that you can do in terms of that motivation and getting that effort you want?
Yeah, you can sit guys on the bench, change the lineup and all that, but, you know, we're all as coaches, you get into the middle of January, pretty settled in on who does what, and it's a matter of all of us doing what we do better.
What were they able to do defensively on those couple of possessions they had?
I don't know if they did anything special. I thought, if you look at the last play, I'll live with an open 3 from Brendan Lavender and a pull-up from Kyle. They played a matchup zone the entire game, other than maybe the opening possession. And it gave us some problems, but part of why it gave us some problems is you have to move. You have to share the ball. You really, it requires effort, even on our offensive end. You know, it wasn't until the second half when you looked out there and you really saw a lot of guys moving and cutting and sharing the ball. And you can always live with an open shot that's a good shot and miss.
A lot is often made about the size of this team. Is it more about the toughness? Is that the rebounding struggle?
No, I mean, our size is a hindrance. I mean, it's not to our advantage to be as small as we are, but that's the circumstances that we have. And that's going to change in the future, but right now it's not about that. It's about us finding ways and doing the best we can this season. And it's a shame to me, not to take anything away from Oregon's win or their effort, because they did a great job, but we weren't nearly the team in the first half as we were in the second.
You talked about the last 2 shots you seemed okay with, but the ones that Josiah and Nick had towards the end there, was that the case of freshmen maybe putting it up too quickly in those cases? Or?
I don't remember Nick's. Josiah, you know,
Well,
we
got
really
blocked.
wanted him to drive. He decided to shoot it, and he shot an air ball. But, you know, that's, when you look at the percentage, putting the ball in his hands to make a play is much different than putting the ball in his hands to shoot it. But that's what he did. And sometimes that happens when you're not playing against a man-to-man. You can't just coach every pass. Guys have to make plays, as evidenced by both shots at the end of the game really came off of team play, and they were 2 pretty good shots.
Jesse was able to get to the hoop early, but he couldn't later in the game. Was that the matchup zone? Did they tweak something else?
They did a good job against Jesse, and he, more than anybody on our team, had a hard time getting going.
Talk about the Josiah, you said making plays and when he stole and the dunk and to tie the game. Did you think you could have used that, or did you think we might be able to come all the way back when he tied it up? I think it was at 54.
You know, I'll give our team a lot of credit. We were resilient. We hung in there. We used the energy of the crowd. We certainly were a much better team in the second half. I mean, it's obvious we were more aggressive. We had more rebounds. We had less turnovers. We shot more free throws. You know why? When you look at the first half, I think we shot 6 free throws. We shot 14 in the second half. All of that really bodes to a team that's aggressive. And our defense, even some of the shots they made were more hard earned. I thought they really got what they wanted to in the first half, and they set the tone. And again, it's disappointing.
18 games into the season for something like this to happen, isn't it a little bit too late to change the personality of things?
Yes. You know, it's a matter of us, it's just not a season-long problem of effort. You know, this isn't like that we've not tried or hasn't played hard for 17 games. But I can clearly always tell when our team doesn't play hard, and for 20 minutes, we didn't. And from that perspective, I think it says a lot about our team, about our leadership, and about kind of where we are. And this isn't about learning lessons anymore. This is about getting the job done and being get the job done.
Does it kind of maybe at least hammer it home a little bit that you're losing at home in conference, which you haven't done in a while, that they know now they can't take anybody for granted kind of thing?
Yeah, but you know, those days of lessons learned, that was Seattle Pacific. You know, everybody on our team, the freshmen right now aren't freshmen. We're in the middle of January. We're almost 60 practices, 18 games in. And older guys have been through the wars several times. This isn't our opening conference game, you know. And everybody in our locker room understood that a home game is important. And Oregon beat us. And it's easy to give them credit, and I think it's very easy for me to distinguish when our team has it and when we do things the right way. And you know what, I'll walk out with a loss, but today we didn't.
Maybe the last 2 games are an example of how you're gonna have to maybe grind it out the whole season in this conference?
Yes. You know, we have some challenges right now, and we have to win some of these. I think I said it after the Oregon State game, we're gonna be in a lot of these. Well, tonight was the same, today was the same. The only difference sometimes when you're in a game like today, you're always behind. And you're behind like the entire game, and it wears on you. And even when you take the lead, and they answered. But that's where we're at.
Is there anything else for Coach?